Morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Right, we are still at this rewire job. We've been here a lot longer than what was expected, just purely because there's so many more sockets that have gone into the property that was not really what we originally planned for. But like I said to the client, it's got to be right, it's what you want, because once I've gone, you know, you're the ones living here, not me, so it's got to be right to what you want. So it's taking longer, you know, it is what it is. Plaster is knackered, all the upstairs has all got to be chopped off and reboarded and re-skimmed and everything. There's quite a few bits of replastering that needs to be done down here as well, so we'll have to come back to do all that because we just we just can't do it. So what we're going to plan to do today, Jack is here with me, wandering about. So I've just finished the wiring in place as such for the first fix for the kitchen. Jack's now getting on with the utility room, which is over that way. So he's just finishing I think there's another 3 sockets to go in there. So what I'm doing is, well, until Jack's finished and then he's going to help me, is I'm going to be getting on with the power for this conservatory, and also there's a garage over there. So what I'm planning on doing is getting all the cables ran for that. So yeah, so we'll just go through all that with you. So if you are new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, or you have been watching this for a while and you still haven't subscribed, hit the link in the corner and turn your notifications on, and you will get a message every time that I upload a video. So if you do that for me, that'd be fantastic. Right, let's get stuck into it. So the consumer unit is basically going under the stairs, which is here. So what I'm going to be doing, so Jack's already got a chase up there along so far with the Metabo, so I've got a little bit over there to carry on chasing out. So what I'm planning on doing, so if you can see up there, there's this bit here. I've just got to finish off chasing, but if you can just about see, maybe there's already some cables that have been put in there in the prescribed zones. So what I mean by that is you've got set distances where you can put cables, if you didn't know. So if you refer to the on-site guide, you see on here, it's 150 mil from the corners and the ceiling that you can go to. So anywhere in those zones you can run your cables. Okay, so when you've got you've got the sockets, so you've always got to have it as straight lines, like obviously vertically and horizontally. That's okay, nothing wrong with that, and in this instance it is the only way to do it as far as I can see anyway. So I've now got my run into this bedroom, because the bedroom is up here. So if you can see, there's a little hole up there, so I've already done a pilot hole, so I'm underneath the floor in that bedroom, so I know where I'm going with that. So I'm going to have to make that bigger. My plan is to then run it along the top edge, so try and hold that out there. So run it along the top edge and then bring it into the garage through the wall somewhere. And then what we're going to do then is, once that's in there, because we've got a lot of stuff in that garage at the minute, when I hand this house back over to the clients, they're gonna move all the stuff out of there, and then I'm gonna come back at a later date and first and second fix the garage. There's not masses going in there, but there's just a lot of stuff. So that's the plan. And while I'm doing this room, we've got 3 wall lights going on up there. There's a socket which is behind me, 2 over there, and 2 behind you now. So that's the plan. So what I'm going to do is, first things first, I'm going to drill that hole out and make that much bigger. Right, what I'm using is it's a 30 mil drill bit that's going to go through. So I've already got a pilot through of like a 12 mil, something like that. So I'm just going to drill that through, but it might take a little while, so I'm probably going to put you on fast forward. Right, we're through, so let's go upstairs and go and find out where that is. Right, let's have a little look. I'm hoping that's in here. Down that way, yeah, it's through here. You probably can't see that, but it's just down there. So happy days. Right, so we've now got our run. So what we're going to do is we're going to run down these joists that we've already got in place, and then for now, because what I'm doing is putting all my cables down the stairs, down the stairway. There's only me and Jack here. It's not any issue for any client. So I'm going to run that down there, and then what I'll then do is then get it back out to the garage. But I think before I go too far, I'm going to chase the rest of that top, put all my banding strap in then, and then it's all done and dusted. So I'll crack on with that, and then I'll catch up with you once it's all ready before I put that cable in. Right, so it's all prepped now. So we've chased it all up into the corners. We've chased it all the way along, so we've made that wider than what it was before. So we've got our hole coming through into there. So we've put the banding strap on. So what was that, about six holes, roughly like that. So what I'm planning on doing is getting the overcapping down there, have my 6mm at the top, because I'm going to run it in a 6mm twin and earth to the consumer unit, which is we're just going to mount just on the inside of the garage just there. So as I was unpicking the top, there was a massive cables, which you can see here, that run all the way along. So we've took the rest of those out. If I take that one out, it's going to ruin all this plastic trim, and I don't want to be doing that. So I've also found where the old cable came through, which is up there. So what I've done, because it was very small holio on there, so took all that out in the garage and re-drilled it with, I think it was an 18mm drill bit. And like I say, I'm still well within my prescribed zones on there. So that means what I'm going to do is I can run my 6mm in, leave it long enough in there to dress into a little garage consumer unit nicely. And then, like I say, once I'm ready for that, I can do that room. So yeah, so we're now at the stage where we're ready to run our 6mm in. So that is what we're about to do. So I'll go and get it out of the van because it's still in there, and I shall see you in a minute. So got the cable out of the van, so we're going to use 6mm. We've got that set up on our drum runner. Now I'll use the super rod drum runner. I've been sent this to try out, and I've had it now for probably 4 or 5 months, something like that. And to be honest, I was a bit sceptical at first whether I'd actually use it or use it that much. And since having it, I have genuinely, I don't use anything else. I only use this, and it's brilliant. It's a really, really good bit of kit. It folds down flat. It takes, so if you're using singles, which I don't use that much now, but when I do, you put all your singles on, especially with rewires as well. You could load it all out with you know, multiple drums of 2.5 and you know, 1.5, 1mm, whatever, and it's great, and it's a really good bit of kit. So like I say, I've normally used like the collapsible drum runners, as everyone would know, but they're in the van, but I just never use them. Just don't use them now since we've used this. So yeah, go and check them out. I'll try and put a link in the description below to the super rod. But yeah, so brilliant bit of kit. So enough of that, done. So what we're doing now, so we've got it over this side, so I'll try and keep it so it's level as such. So as you're pulling it, I'll just hook that over the other side of that, and then I'm going to miss that one for now, and then run it down the next one, all the way along, and then get it through into the garage. So we'll put you on here, and hopefully you'll be able to see me doing all that. So we're now at that stage down here. So hopefully you can see. So what I'm going to do now is pull enough cable here to hopefully get enough all the way through the wall, all the way to the other end of the conservatory, and then enough to make off in the actual garage. So that's the plan anyway. Not enough. Right, so we've put the cable through there. As you've seen, I've just had a phone call from Jack. He's asking me about some testing in the kitchen, so I'll just run through that with him. So key now for me is to leave that alone, so don't cut that yet, because I need to make sure that I've got enough cable. So we'll run back down. Please hold. So we've got the cable come through. So essentially now we've got to make sure we've got enough to dress it all and to move the board. In fact, we've got too much. So pull some of that back. But yeah, so that's basically what we need to do. Right, so cable's all in, it's all capped up. So like so. So it's well within our prescribed zones. So all the way down there, and then it goes into the garage. Now, I've pulled a bit too much cable initially, but I've had a change of plan anyway now, because I've got so much length on it. Rather than cut it back, it now means that I can bring, when I'm ready, I can bring the consumer unit down to this end, because this is the door that they use anyway, this side one. So it means I can put the consumer unit around here somewhere, which is basically what they had before as such. So that's what the plan is. So it's worked out in my favour as such. And then I've ran the cable back through, and it's now down the stairwell as such, ready to go. So Jack's finished up what he's doing. Let's show you what he's been doing, just so you can know. Turn the radio off. Yeah, so in here, Jack's been brought the feeds down, brought them along to the double sockets down that end, and then there's a switch fuse spur to control the socket for the appliances, and then back up to here. So that's what Jack's been doing anyway. So been busy boy. So Jack now is going to be getting on, gives me a hand now getting these the rest of these cables ran for in this room and chased in. So there's an additional socket which we didn't realise down in that corner initially when we first did all the chasing. So Jack's going to get on with that now while I start running some of the cables. So yeah, that's what we're up to. Right, so we're a bit further on now. So Jack has made a mess. Not really. Jack's standard. So Jack is getting on with putting these cables in now for this radial. We've done all of the house bar the kitchen on radials. I think for us here, because we're coming back, going to be doing all the plastering, it just makes way more sense. So I can isolate a room off at a time, the lads can crack on, we're not interfering with the rest of the house because the homeowners work from home as well, so they can just carry on, because it's going to be a full RCBO board on anyway, which is going to work much better. So what we've done, we've got the roots sorted now. So we've just loosely put one of the cables in. So we're now going to get on with sorting the lighting circuit out in here. So the lights that were in here were fed like this. So you've got singly insulated cable that was run up there, up to the top, all the way around to the light switch behind, which everybody knows that is not the way to do it. So we've got the light switch in here coming through from the kitchen, so we're going to basically come through that, up this boxing in, up here, and then out to the relevant lights that are down that way. So you've got 3 lights going on and 2-way, so that's what we're going to do. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to get all those in capping, to be honest. I don't think we're going to be able to, because there's just too much going on up there, so we're just going to clip them direct and then plaster those in. I think, so I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's what we're going to do. But yeah, so just going on to this, I don't know whether you can see this without me getting up on the ladders, but so in there you've got multiple junction boxes. There's also so there's multiple junction boxes behind that boxing in. There's also another like enclosure a bit further down. So in a fault finding condition, how are you going to know they're there? It's a nightmare. So just a rubbish way of doing it. But you know, so me and Jack are cracking on in here now. It's getting a bit warm, so because obviously it's conservatory, it's a bit warm in here, mate, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm going to start running these cables in. That one that's hanging out the boxing in there is going to be chased in across the top and then drop down. So there's a socket down there, one over there, and then that's going to be our last point down that one. So all in all, this house has got absolutely loads of sockets in it now, absolutely tons. So we're pretty much sorted on the cable runs, because I'll get the cable sorted and then Jack will go around and tidy all those bits up. And I've got heating controls to sort out after that. And then it's putting the boards down then, all the boards, all the floorboards and all that lot, coverings, big tidy up. And then it'll be for like, some bonding going in tomorrow, so that's what the plan is. So we'll get cracking with these, and then I think what we'll do is I'll catch up with you once we've got all these cables in and they're all capped up in place. I think that's probably the best course of action. Right, so cables are pretty much run now, all in. So we've got just a little bit of clipping up to do for these wall lights and stuff up there. So Jack has just asked me, he said, why can't I get these clips in up the top? And because an old boy, he taught me about the double tap method, and the only way to describe that, hold on Jack, oh is he bugger, inconsiderate bugger, isn't he? So the only way to describe that, as you're holding the clip up on there, you literally go tap tap, leave it, and then tap tap, tap tap, tap tap, and that's the only way I found that works when the mortar is really, really hard. And Jack, I think he looked at me a bit mental. I thought I was just a bit gone out. But does it work, Jack? Oh yeah. It does work, doesn't it? The only thing is sometimes, like Jack said, oh, why did that one come out? And it's because the mortar is soft on that one, so that's just, it is what it is. So you have to sort of move on to the next one. But yeah, double tap method, if you didn't know what that was. So Jack's done all the chasing now, so he's got that one down there and down to that one. And that's pretty much it really on there now, as we've got almost all the cables in for the house. I've just got to do the heating controls, which I'm going to do in the airing cupboard anyway, so that's fine. So I'm going to get the boards down now, get all the floorboards back down, start squaring the house up ready for plastering, which is going to be tomorrow. So I think it's a good point to leave you there. Hope you've enjoyed it. Jack is absolutely sweating, like it's boiling now, and it was raining earlier on. It's absolutely boiling. So if for nothing else, make sure you subscribe for Jackie Boy. So yeah, see, it's what we need, isn't it? Yes. So for his suffering, I think that's the least you can do. Right, see you tomorrow, guys.